On this edition of Native Report, it's all about sports. We learn about John Beargrease and what it takes to run a sled dog race. We find out what inspires these long-distance runners to keep going in one of the premier marathons in the country. And we chat with Olympic gold medalist Billy Mills, whose victory at the 1964 Olympics is still viewed as one of the game's greatest triumphs. We also hear from our elders and learn something new about Indian country on this Native Report.
Production of Native Report is made possible by grants from the Shakopee Metawakanton Sioux Community, the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe, the Blandin Foundation, and the Grotto Foundation.
Welcome to Native Report. I'm Stacey Thunder. This year marks the 27th running of the John Beargrease Sled Dog Marathon. From 1879 to 1899, John Beargrease delivered mail by sled during the winter months along Lake Superior's frozen shore. The times may have changed, but the essentials remain the same. One person, one sled, and a dog team.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2010 running of the John Beargrease Sled Dog Marathon.
The sun may have been shining, but the temperature in Duluth, Minnesota was barely above zero with a 10 below wind chill on the morning of the John Beargrease Sled Dog Marathon. Ideal conditions to start the race, according to musher Billy Diver.
The conditions I think are really good for the dogs. It's a really good temperature for them. They really like it to be cold. I think that they're going to do really good. I guess my hope for them is to just finish with all 8 dogs that I start with and make sure they're all happy and healthy. They're all Alaskan Husky mixes. They all have different random mixes. A lot of them have hound in them, which makes the better endurance for running.
John Beargrease made his mark on Minnesota history as a mail carrier on the north shore of Lake Superior, and was most famous for using a dog sled to transport the mail during his winter travels. Today, this feat is commemorated through what is labeled as the premier sled dog race in the lower 48 states. Diver, a nursing student at the University of North Dakota, is running the mid-distance race and was introduced to the sport at an early age.
I first went on a dog sled ride when I was 3 years old. And I just loved the dogs, and so I just kept coming out. I ran my first race when I was 7 years old, and it was just like a 1 dog, 1 mile race, and it just kept growing from there. So it's a lot of work. Mainly just training the dogs is what takes the most time. As soon as it gets below 40 degrees, like at the end of summer, you need to start training the dogs every single day. Just working up the miles and just really training every single day is the big thing. It's really peaceful and serene, I think. You're just out there with the dogs. It's really quiet. You leave 2 minutes apart, and so you rarely come into contact with any of the other dog teams. There aren't very many people out there at all unless you're at a road crossing, and so it's just really nice being out there like with the dogs, and just gives you a lot of time to think about things.
The mid-distance race, while shorter in duration and distance than the standard marathon, is still a challenge for both musher and dog team.
I'm excited. I know I can run up the hills and stuff, so hopefully that'll work to my advantage. I've been running a lot. I know a lot of people just don't train, they just train the dogs, but I like to be fit for them because I don't want them to have to haul me up the hill, I guess. There's one hill called Heartbreak Hill that it's like half a mile just straight uphill, and so I like to run up that with them. My dogs really are my world, and I just trust them with my life out on the trail. And so you really need to bond with them, I guess, when you aren't training and aren't running them. I just go out there and sit with them and talk with them, and you really have to get a close relationship with them, I guess. Some of my dogs, I'm the only person that they trust, and so I guess that makes it more special when you just have that connection, and you really need to get to know your dogs.
While the dogs play an important role, it is just as important to make sure all of the gear needed to run the race is packed on the sled. This is mandatory for all mushers.
Out on the trail, they have mandatory equipment that we have to take with us on the sled, and we have to have like a first aid kit, extra equipment for the dogs, food for the dogs, food for me, just like basic stuff, I guess. There's like a knife, cable cutters, like just in case. You really don't stop on the trail though, unless for some reason there's a tangle or you need to put a booty back on or something. There really isn't any reason to stop, especially within a 35-mile run. And so I really shouldn't need any of the equipment or anything. So right here we have the runners, and this is just what I stand on. And then the handle right here. This is the sled bag. Move these. This is the sled bag, and this is where all the mandatory equipment goes. There's a sleeping bag, the first aid kit, everything that I mentioned earlier. That all goes in here. We have 2 brakes on the back here for me, and then we also have 2 snow hooks in case I have to stop and get off the sled. You just hook those down into the snow, then you can get off. We've got the 2 brakes right here. This one is just to stand on just all the time. It just provides a little bit of a brake. Then if I don't want it, I can just flip it up. And then we've got the metal brake here. It's just a little bit more sturdy than the rubber mat one. Then we have the gang line. This is what all the dogs get hooked up to. And you hook this up to the back of their harness. And then you hook that one up to their collar. This is how they pull from the tug lines right here. And then we've got room for 8 dogs there, so that's about it.
Diver is not the only female in the race, but she is the only person who can say she is a descendant of John Beargrease through her father's side of the family.
I guess for me, it makes me feel like a little bit closer to the race, and I think that's a lot of fun. It's too bad that there aren't more people, Native Americans, involved in it. But he has just told me, he just kind of explains to me like how important it is that I'm out there, like when I'm out there, I guess. He really wants me to understand the importance of it, I guess. Having family and just like the Native American heritage part of it. And I guess out on the trail, I like put tobacco down a lot at every checkpoint and along the trail, and it really helps me to stay calm out on the trail. I know that he's really proud of me, of what I do, and just being out there all night by myself, I guess, that makes me happy.
As her start time draws near, she prepares her dog team. Things move swiftly, and before she knows it, she's at the start gate. And after a countdown, she's off to the cheers of spectators.
It's just a really great race to do, especially for anyone starting off in a long distance race. I guess it's just over 100 miles, just under 24 hours. It's just a lot of fun, I guess.
Out of a field of 44 mushers entered in the mid-distance race, and the 34 that finished, Billy Diver placed 18th.
Did you know there is an American Indian Athletic Hall of Fame? Founded in 1972 by 2 former commissioners of Indian Affairs, Olympic gold medal winner Billy Mills was appointed the first coordinator of the Hall of Fame. The purpose is to recognize the great athletes of American Indian heritage and for American Indian youth to have athletic role models. Every athlete honored by induction into the Hall is selected on the basis of an outstanding, colorful, and exciting career at the national or international level. Housed at Haskell Indian Nations University in Lawrence, Kansas, thousands of visitors to the hall have read about the athletic feats of Jim Thorpe, Sonny Sixkiller, John Levi, Billy Mills, and 90 others.
Native Thunder Distance Runners is an all-native running group that promotes better health in Indian country. One of its founding members is Red Lake Nation Chairman Floyd Jourdain Jr. Every year, Chairman Jourdain encourages and successfully recruits more people to put on their running shoes and get in the race. When Red Lake Nation Chairman Floyd Jourdain Jr. started running, he found it to be a rewarding experience for the body, mind, and spirit. And he wants the younger generation to experience the same.
I started running in 1995 just to, well, believe it or not, to try to get in shape, and for nothing more than that. But after I found out it was more of a spiritual and lifestyle balancing thing, it became a life-changing part of my life. So I do it all the time now religiously. It's a lot of fun, a lot of time alone, away from your job and the stress and all those kind of things, and just being out in the elements. Earth, wind, water, fire, it's all there. And it's a whole nother monster when you get in the marathon and you got thousands of people around you. You're used to training alone, so it's a lot of fun. Well, I like to mobilize and inspire the younger generation just to get moving, to be more active in their lifestyles, and try to put the technology down for a few hours and just get out in the wilderness and in the elements. It's something that I think is missing from a lot of our young people's lives, and so fitness and being outdoors it's a wonderful thing.
The Red Lake Nation is experiencing what some have described as a diabetes epidemic. And as part of Red Lake's longtime health initiative, Million Miles Against Diabetes, the Twin Cities Marathon was a key event to raise awareness for the issue.
In 1995, our tribe, the Red Lake Band Chippewa Indians, declared war against diabetes. And so later on that year, they asked us to develop a program where we can involve the total community. Our children now, they have a carefree lifestyle in that we want to make sure that they have to prepare for this. Eventually, if they don't take care of themselves, they're going to get diabetes. And to our older population, the ones that are getting diabetes or going to be affected by it, or we want to let them know that there is a way where they can control their diabetes. They can live a long time, and as long as they develop certain exercises and watch their diet and take care of themselves.
The evening before the race, novice marathon runners and those more experienced gathered at the Minneapolis American Indian Center, where they offered support for their cause and for each other. While they may have been running to raise awareness for diabetes, each also had other reasons why they run.
Each time I run, I feel better and better about myself, and I try to achieve the greatest. I try to, look over to, see how far I can go, like the next day, or the next corner, like around the corner, and see how far I could push myself to go further each time.
They never really have like running stuff up north, and then I took this opportunity to sign up and just got into a training program in June, and so here I am. Right now I'm feeling like kind of anxious and nervous, excited and scared, so I'm just really, I don't know, I just have so much emotions going through right now.
This was Hunter's and Perkins' first true marathon, but for Emmett Eastman, a Dakota elder, this was one of many. How many marathons have you run?
Thousands of them, because I've run in 21 countries, and we've run like 24-hour marathons, a number of them. Plus, in 1996, I ran across from Huntington Beach to Atlanta during the Atlanta Olympics, and we were running 30 miles a day, 4 days straight, a day break, 30 miles. So it was like, it was something I never done before. And so it was something new. It kind of reinforces you encourage you to run farther and try new things. I run for my family, I run for the people who can't run, I run for my elders, I run for my tribe, I run for all Indian people. All living things are considered sacred. I consider each run step like a prayer. Mother Earth is part of the four elements: earth, wind, fire, water. And I feel that if I run on Mother Earth, she's a comforter, a provider. And so I kind of use that in my running.
For Doug Fairbanks, a veteran of 60 marathons, running was something he took up after the 1972 Olympics.
I just run for the sheer desire of running. I've always enjoyed running. I started running. I found out that I enjoyed running when I was about 12 years old, and I used to time myself in running. There was never track and field in my high school, but I just ran anyway, and I ran to train for boxing, and I like boxing, but the running was the best part of it. My goal now, after running approximately 60 marathons, is to go under 3 hours, and eventually for the Twin City Marathon is to win my age group, which now I'm 60 years old.
While these men and women had their own reasons for running, they all had one purpose for this marathon, and that was for the wellness of Indian country.
All runners run with a purpose, and Native Thunder's given us an opportunity to cover a lot of ground, mostly cover issues with the diabetes. That's the big one for us, and everything: cancer, suicide, a lot of spiritual runs and those kind of things. And then the marathons, we like to get the just get out there, have fun, do the miles, and hopefully draw some attention to those issues. Running's been part of our native culture for thousands of years, and I think it's something that just comes naturally to all people, all races, all cultures. For those who haven't discovered it yet, I encourage you to get out there, get active, get running. It's a good pastime, and it's a good thing to do.
My most valuable asset I could tell anybody is that I grew up on a reservation. I grew up with parents that didn't speak English, very little English. And they made sure that I went to school. They made sure that I graduated from high school, which helped me go on to college then, which, you know, I'm really really got into the books because there's a lot of information on the books didn't work. Because I'd already been working 10 years, and then when I found out that all the information I was reading wasn't working, but it reminded me, there's a lot of things in the books that reminded me this is how we live. So I really got into the books. I really started looking at books, and reminded me, so I was able to think about my own way of life on the reservation.
Billy Mills is a legend of Olympic proportions. Running for Mills was and is a passion. He motivates others with the advice his father gave him. But it's more than just motivational, it's empowering.
He's out ahead of Ron Clark. Bill Mills, the United States, in third place. This will certainly be the fastest 10,000 meter ever run by an American.
Here's Mills, who seems to be boxed in. Suddenly there's an opening, and here he comes.
Here they come down the final lot. Can Ron Clark catch the Mooney? They're going through the field. He's coming up. He's passing a Mooney. Look at Mills. Look at Mills. Look at Mills. Coming on. Mills is coming on. Oh, no. It might be Bill Mills. That's a tremendous surprise here.
The footage of Billy Mills winning the 10,000-meter run is as exciting today as it was that day 46 years ago. People still applaud the feat. If not for his dad, he may never have achieved that moment. So what led you to sport?
What led me to sport is probably, I would say, the mere fact that my dad, when my mom died, is just telling me I had to find a dream. And then he said, you have to find a passion. And you have to try multitudes of things that are constructive. You have to self-motivate to try multitudes of things. If you try enough, one of them might be a passion. I hope you try sports. He died when I was 12. I thought he wanted me to be an athlete. But he also said sports, drama, music, the arts, dance, creative writing, student leadership. Any one of those avenues can lead you to potentially finding a passion. And when you find a passion, you feel it right here. And you're willing to accept defeat, not failure. You're willing to pursue excellence, all while you accept defeat in pursuit of a passion. So you have to start by searching the dream, son, so you can heal. And just those words as he talked with me led me to try to be an athlete, because I thought that's what he wanted me to be.
Today, Billy travels throughout the country, speaking to students of all ages. His goal is to empower young people.
A lot of people will say, you give the motivational, inspirational talk. I don't call it inspirational or motivational. I like to call it empowerment, because most, quote, motivational speakers, they don't deal with reality. Where I will talk in terms of reality, racism, attempts and feelings of suicide. I'll talk with reality and how a person perhaps worked through it. So I like to call it empowerment. And a lot of it was winning a gold medal at the games and truly feeling that that was a gift to me from higher power. So what do you do if you think you've been given a gift from higher power? You give back. So I just orchestrated my life giving back.
How did the movie Running Brave come about?
The elders would say, Billy, you have to give back to the people who helped you achieve. It's our culture, it's our tradition, it's our giveaway. But I stole ideas from coaches, trainers, athletes worldwide, so I couldn't just go back to Pine Ridge, have a powwow, make gifts, and give them to the people that helped me. And finally my wife said, you know, take the inspiration that was given to you worldwide, do a traditional value in a contemporary manner. Let's do a movie. So we orchestrated a movie. The movie was Running Brave, and I gave the inspiration that was given to me worldwide and passed it on to another generation.
Tell me about the event. What were you trying to achieve with this audience tonight?
I was asked to come in and speak here at the university, and didn't really know it was going to be predominantly a Native American theme. But when I saw the audience, then I decided just to talk in terms of diversity and what I took from sport. Global unity through the dignity, character, beauty of global diversity.
What do you think is the most important message to give to our youth, in particular our Native youth?
I think a very important message to give that I try to give is that our women are sacred. It's our women who kept our culture, our tradition, our spirituality in place. It's our women who, because of the role they played, they've allowed our young children to grow up now and to take the culture, the tradition, the spirituality, the virtues and the values that empowered the culture, tradition, spirituality, and transpose them into a present-day power through their educational pursuits, through their chosen careers. And they're becoming the warriors of the 21st century. And without our women, that would not have happened. So our young people, our young women need to know they're sacred.
His wife Patricia supported Billy all these years, from his racing days to his days as a speaker and advocate for youth across Indian country. Billy recognizes the sacrifices she's made.
She gave up her art career so I could pursue my Olympic career. Then she gave up her art career to help me build our business. 6 years ago, she woke up, January 1, we went to our 5K fun run, walk. She woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning and said, Billy, I'm through raising you. You're on your own. I thought, oh my God, she's going to divorce me. And she said, you're on your own. I'm going to go back and pursue my passion. I'm going to go back and pursue my artwork. And now she's got her master's degree in a master's of art, opened up her studio, and she's selling her art in different parts of the country now. I am so thrilled to see this lady who gave up such a great portion of her life so I could pursue my dream. And now I can help her pursue her dreams.
What are your plans or hopes for the future?
My plans now is just, I'm 71 years old, try to correct a swing in a golf game and spend more time with my grandchildren. And I hope to take Dominic and Max, who keeps my last name, since we have no sons. So I hope to take Max, who's 7, Dominic, who's 5. I hope to take him to the Olympic Games with me in 2016.
For more information about Native Report or the stories we've covered, look for us on the web at nativereport.org. Thank you for spending this time with your friends and neighbors in Indian Country. I'm Stacey Thunder. See you next time on Native Report.
Stacey Thunder is an enrolled member of and legal counsel for the Red Lake Nation. And Tad Johnson is an enrolled member of the Boys Fort Band of Ojibwe and is Solicitor General for the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe. Production of Native Report is made possible by grants from the Shakopee Metawakanton Sioux Community, the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe, the Blandin Foundation, and the Grotto Foundation.
I'm Stacey Thunder. See you next time on Native Report.
Stacey Thunder is an enrolled member of and legal counsel for the Red Lake Nation. And Tad Johnson is an enrolled member of the Boys Fort Band of Ojibwe and is Solicitor General for the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe. Production of Native Report is made possible by grants from the Shakopee Metawakanton Sioux Community, the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe, the Blandin Foundation, and the Grotto Foundation. Metawakanton Sioux Community, the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe, the Blandin Foundation, and the Grotto Foundation.